I really hate people who quote movies in arguments because saying something that sounds cool or sounds philosophical or poetic rather than providing a substantive argument is a clear sign of pseudo-intellectualism. But the phrase "stupid is as stupid does" from Forrest Gump could unironically save civilization as we know it. What perpetuates a lot of issues in our society is not the issues themselves, it is the inability and lack of motivation to recognize the cause of these issues, which is people, and deal with it. We want to believe that people are better than they are. And so we often attribute their actions to ignorance rather than malice. And kind of circling back to earlier, someone came up with a catchy phrase saying that we should. But the problem with that phrase being never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by stupidity, is that it assumes that malice and stupidity are mutually exclusive. Not only would I say that they are not, they are often one and the same, I would go as far as to say that stupidity as we recognize it is always a form of malice. You don't get upset at somebody when they don't know something that you do, or at least you shouldn't, nor do we hold people accountable for their lack of understanding. And this is because stupid is as stupid does. Even though you may not be able to express it as I'm doing now, on some level you understand that the intent behind an action is what makes somebody culpable for their actions. With exceptions to negligence, we don't hold people accountable in a court of law for their accidents. We hold them accountable for what they intend to do. Or perhaps I should say that we judge them based on how their actions demonstrate their intentions and how their intentions demonstrate their character, and this is why negligence isn't actually an exception to this rule. If somebody acts with every intention to prevent a negative outcome, then it was an accident. That person didn't mean for that to happen. You could understand that there is no need to condemn this person or hold him accountable, as if punishing him would prevent it from happening again if it truly was an accident. If, on the other hand, somebody took no precautions whatsoever to prevent a negative outcome and didn't really care that there was a negative outcome that affected others, you can probably see that this behavior is likely to lead to this consequence again, necessitating condemnation, necessitating punishment, necessitating excommunication, which is what prison is. So all of that makes sense, but what we refuse to understand is that when we get upset at people because they are intentionally ignorant, we are recognizing intentional ignorance. We are recognizing that ignorance is a form of negligence. With regards to both knowledge and understanding, I don't have to know brain surgery, I don't have to understand it. I should, however, know it if I'm claiming to be a brain surgeon, or even worse, if I'm going to go perform brain surgery. And so if I claim to know how to do it, but I don't and I can't, and then I try and somebody dies as a result, I am responsible for that person's death. It is my fault. And again, not because everybody is just expected to know this, but because I should know and should be expected to know that I don't know how to perform brain surgery, I've never studied it, and I've never done it before. So that speaks to my character and tells you that I am not approaching the life of this other person with the humility and respect that it deserves. And you may claim to understand that, but then you turn around and you say, well, these radical, chronically online people with bad takes are just misled. Nope, they are approaching academia and politics with negligence. They are bad people.